Hi, you might want to grab a piece of pen and paper for this. I'm going to show you how I've used a data mining tool called Simca that comes to a cost for 12,000 US dollars, and there is a reason for that. I've used this tool to dig into performance and health related studies, so you don't need to be confused regarding science, diet and nutrition. I will wait a second so you can get that pen and paper. Imagine this scenario. What if you could increase your strength with as much as 52% in just 10 weeks? So you can outperform your competitors if you're a sport athlete, or just be the strongest dude in the gym. What if you could compare all weight loss diets out there to see if there's one clear winner, or are they all just the same? So you can reach your goals regardless of if that is to cut weight for competition or simply become ripped for the beach season. And of course, you don't need to try them all out. What if you could compare all performance diets to find out if there's one that gives you the greatest benefits? So you can speed up recovery, increase your performance, and decrease inflammation. Sounds like a stretch? Well, I used to think so too, before I started to use a data mining tool called Simca and applied that to the scientific studies within health and human performance. I have used with this tool 15-20 years before, both within research in pharmaceutical, as well as I used to be the product manager for the tool, so I kind of designed it. But it has never been used, or anything like it, any place, anywhere before, to look at health and performance related studies. This is the first time this has been done. So now I would like to share a few things with you that has come out from this research. Let's look at the factors behind strength development. We did this by looking into both nutritional factors as well as training protocols. This combination has never been done before. On top of that, we also accounted for if the athletes were beginner or strong athletes to start with when they started the study. That of course has a profound impact on the outcome of the studies. We used the second generation OPLS for this. These are techniques developed by Professor Johan Trygg at Umeå University. These techniques are used by industry to optimize their product performance and to increase profit. However, in the area of nutrition and medicine in general, these techniques are hardly not used at all. Here are some of the results from this study. Fact 1. Protein post-workout is the single most important nutrient for muscle strength. Fact 2. Carbohydrate added to the protein post-workout have some positive effect on hypertrophy. That means your muscle becomes somewhat larger. However, it will decrease your strength gains and it will add some body fat. Fact 3. If you optimized all settings according to our mathematical model, you should be able, at least as a beginner, to increase strength with more than 50% in just weeks. Sounds as too much to be true? Well, it depends how you do the optimization actually. Normally it's done like this, that you change one factor at a time, and then you look for the optimum in each factor. And then you combine this optimum to find the best setting for all the factors. However, look at this same data again. We changed one factor, we found an optimum. Then we move in another direction, change one factor and find a new optimum. Is this truly the best place to be at? Well, not in this case. The real optimum is over here, in this area. And as you can see, quite far from the optimum that we reach when we optimize one factor at a time. That simply is because when you go with one factor at a time, you can't see that you're missing the real optimum. You can't see in what direction to find the real optimum. For that, you need to use design of experiments. This is very much used out in the commercial industry to optimize everything from car engines to how you should fly to the Mars next time. However, it is not used within nutritional research or sport performance. However, we have done that, and we are the first one that have done that ever in the area of nutrition or sport performance. Almost 1,000 different training protocols. We took the best one, and we looked in the literature if we could find any of these one has been tested for real. Despite that the model says so, it's always good to have confirmation that the model is doing accurate predictions. We found a couple of studies actually. One of them we have here. This study actually was supposed to look at the difference between casein protein and whey protein. But besides that, all other settings were set exactly as our optimized protocol. Just by coincidence actually. If you look at the gains they have achieved here, in squat for instance, they increased almost 80 kilograms, bench press 50 kilos, and in pull down something like 35-40 kilos. So that means in, for instance, bench press, they went from 1.1 times their own body weight in bench press to 1.6 times their own body weight in bench press. So that's quite a lot actually. It usually takes a couple of years for athletes to reach that level of strength in bench press. So in this study they actually could reach that in just 10 weeks, just as predicted by our model. Let's look at diet for weight loss. Is there so that there is one single diet that is superior to all other, or does it matter which diet you choose? Well, we found one diet that outperformed all our diets in all the studies we looked at, the ketogenic diet. In fact, if you look with the recommended diet by physicians in Western countries, which actually ended up last, the worst diet you could ever try to lose weight, it is 3 times better. That means that if someone lost 5 kilos, which is about 10 pounds, on the recommended Western diet, they would have lost 15 kilos, 30 pounds, on the ketogenic diet. 3 times more. What about performance? Is there one type of diet that is better for performance and health indicators in general? It's the same here. We actually did find one diet that outperformed all other diets. That is the Paleolithic diet, or the ancestral diet as it's also called. It even beat the Mediterranean diet in a head-to-head benchmark. If you like this information, well, then I really think you will like this product I have created. It's called Black Belt Nutrition, and it simply will take you to the black belt level within nutrition. It consists of a multiple DVDs and video material. And this is so you can optimize your own or your client's health and performance. Let's have a look at the content of Black Belt Nutrition. First out is basic nutrition. And this chapter covers the foundation, mainly the macronutrients, that is protein, carbohydrate and fats. How these can be converted to each other and the limitation how they cannot be converted to each other. This is important to understand because it's not always so that what you eat exactly matches the need of the body. To some extent the body can adapt for this, but there are limitations, simply pathways that the body cannot do. We'll also look at protein quality, what it is and why it is important. So you spend your money on the right sources of protein, regardless of if you're eating food or if you're taking supplements. Then there is interpretation of scientific publication. It's not only so that we will pack you with information, we will also teach you how you can get new information, how you can read scientific papers and how you can absorb the information in here. We will teach you how you can review publications and how you can assess why there are different results when 2 studies are looking at the same thing. We'll teach you the difference between observational studies and randomized control designs. We'll teach you things like correlation and causation. We'll also bring up some common example of misinterpretation of data and how you can avoid this. We will also teach you what kind of data mining techniques we have used in Black Belt Nutrition. Because the fact is that there are 2 different ways of approach data. And the common way within the research community once it comes to nutrition and medical research, that is to look by one variable at a time. However, this is not how the real world works. In reality, there are many. Next out is the science behind Black Belt Nutrition. Here we will reveal the data mining concepts that we have been using. And these concepts are not only used by us, they are also used by a lot of leading commercial companies, but it's not so common about the academic research so far. We'll show how we have used these techniques for benchmarking and optimization of health and performance. We'll teach you how to interpret multiple variables so you don't get misled by hidden variables you normally don't see. We'll teach you how to avoid common mistakes that is often done by academic researchers within medical and nutritional science. After the introduction chapters, we will start with the diet. We will list good food and bad foods for athletic performance. We'll teach you the difference between natural, processed and chemically produced foods. We'll look at the evolutionary aspects of the human diet. You will get printable food maps where you can see the nutrient profile of different kind of food groups. We will also look at how you can avoid substances that will impair your health and your performance. Then we will look closer at fat and oils, and I will explain the properties of saturated, monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats and explain what they are. You will learn the difference how these are used within the cell membrane and in other parts of the body. We'll also reveal a lot of facts regarding trans fats. We'll teach you how you can improve your reaction time and your cognitive performance by the right type of fat. We will also look at the ratios of different fats and how this is important to keep away systemic inflammation. By eliminating poor fat, you can actually improve your memory and get better attention. You can also increase your anabolic response to training with some type of fats. We'll also have a look at omega-3 fats, the different sources, plant-based, animal source, what is the difference, and so on. We'll also have a look at cholesterol and the transporter proteins LDL and HDL, which often are referred to as cholesterol, but in fact they are transporter proteins. Then we move on to meat and fish in the next chapter. This is also a big chapter. We will here look through how you can understand what food sources you should turn to and what food sources to avoid. We have looked at our ancestral use of meat and fish and why it's important, how to cook it so you don't destroy the valuable nutrients in meat and fish. We'll also look at how the right quality of meat and fish can improve your lipid profile, your blood glucose, and your insulin sensitivity. And we will also relate the consumption of meat and fish with your body composition and your strength. Plant-based foods are of course also very important. And here we look at the difference, once again, what is processed and what is natural food. This is not always so obvious when it comes to plant-based food. We look at the food maps and what nutrient profile there are in fruits and vegetables, grains and seeds and nuts, and what are the difference between them. Plant-based food actually is a quite variety of food. Some of them are very good for us. On the other hand, some of them are not very good for us. Look at carbohydrates. What are the difference between complex carbohydrates and simple sugars? And here, in contrast to conventional wisdom, we will teach you the opposite, why complex carbohydrates actually is the main problem of today's food consumption. We'll also look at fiber, that is actually kind of a carbohydrate from a chemical perspective. However, from a biological perspective, it's not really a carbohydrate because it's not absorbed by our bodies. Still, though, it is used by our bacteria in the gut. We will look at gluten and intestinal permeability, inflammation, autoimmune disease, and the alteration of brain pathways. We look at artificial sweetener and how they make use basically fat and dump. We look at soy and reveal some things there, and we'll also look at milk and in particular in casein and how that also, very similar to gluten, has a role in inflammation, autoimmune disease, and alteration of brain enzymes. And we'll also look at the holy grains. And by the end of the nutritional chapter, which is about 5 hours long, we'll make a summary and try to find out which diet is the best for athletic performance. And we will do this by both look at the biochemistry of different type of foods and the whole food in itself, but perhaps the most important, we will look at entire food diets, how entire diets has been benchmarked against each other in different ways. So we will look, for instance, at the average Western diet. We look at the recommended diet by Western healthcare system. We look at vegan diet, Mediterranean, and ancestral diet, and a few others. And we'll simply benchmark these against each other based on science that is actually out there to see if there's one diet or a few of them that are better suited for athletic performance or not. When you talk about diet, it is difficult to not talk about weight loss. That is a question that always comes up. So we have an entire chapter of that where we spend 2 hours on looking at diet for weight loss and how to modify the diet, whatever diet you choose, so it's suitable for weight loss. And this will be weight loss from athletic performance, which has a little bit more demand on it because you just not want to lose weight, you also want to lose fat and keep your muscle mass and your strength. Is there one diet that is better than anyone else? Once again, we have benchmarked the most common and popular diets out there. And there are quite good clinical research on all of them, so they are very easy to compare. Diets like the recommended diet by healthcare professionals. We look at calorie-restricted diets, Mediterranean diet, low glycemic index diet, low fat diet, high protein diet, low fat calorie restricted diet, low carb high protein, low carb high fat, and ketogenic diet. And we will simply see, is there one diet that always is better than all other once it comes to weight loss? Or does it depend on other factors, in that case, which factors? We'll also look at the pros and the cons of different diets because by the end of the day, it might not be so that it's one diet that is best for everyone. It depends on the individual, perhaps, what food you prefer, how you train, and if you're an athlete, what sport you're in. And the summary of all this is that you will learn how to lose body fat and preserve your lean mass and more importantly your strength as well, so that you can perform better in any given sport. So in total you will receive about 9 hours of information packed video materials. On top of that, each chapter also comes with an easy-to-read PDF that gives you a short overview of the chapters, and it also works very good as a reference guide. In this way, you don't have to open up the video file every time you want to look up something. You have all the references in PDF format. So you have the food tables, for instance. You have all the nutrient profiles, all the benchmarks, the weight loss diet, the performance diets, the chemical pictures and everything. So it's easy for you to go back and use this as a reference library as well. If you will do all this work yourself, it will definitely take you quite some time, and you will need some multi-route analysis tools. The ones I have used actually cost about $12,000 together. And if you're not trained in this area, you might need a consult that will help you out as well. You also need a few textbooks in biochemistry that comes at around $100 each. And then you will need probably 3 to 6 months to read each of them and learn the content. However, we won't charge you $13,000 for this product. Rather, it costs $67. And we came up with this price comparing what does a personal trainer cost for 1 or 2 sessions. That should be a lot of value for you if you compare to this educational material that is about 9 hours long and give you information that way extend what you will get from a personal trainer. And there is a bonus as well, the strength study. This study compares the relationship between both strength, training, nutrition and supplements so that you can train and eat to get the results that you want. And this is a very unique study. It's never been done in the way that we have conducted it before. The data mining techniques we have not been used at all within nutrition or sports science. So we have some really interesting things to reveal here. Then we have progressive bodyweight training. If you like calisthenics, well, this is the book for you. I would argue this one is very suitable for combat sports of any kind. It really focuses on the strength you need when you punch, when you kick, when you wrestle and when you grapple. With that said though, it is very suitable for anyone that wants to improve the functional strength, because this is really what it's all about, to become as strong as you can in relation to your body weight. This is a PDF, so it's not a video as the other things are in this material. And finally, you also get the reference matrix with 700 studies that you can use to search and find your own studies and your own particular interest. While you think about this software for a while, I will just let you know a little bit about my background. I think that is worth mentioning as well. I have a degree in biochemistry. I graduated from Karlstad University. I did study a lot more things than just biochemistry. I'd also studied organic chemistry and applied statistics, as well as exercise physiology, biology and sport nutrition. Now this is some time ago, well, about 20 years ago. But fortunately I did not stop learning after leaving school. In fact, most of the things you see in this material come from things I have learned when I've been working. And I've been working within sport nutrition as well, as Chief Scientific Officer. In this company I was responsible for the development of our new products. But not only that, we did work with some of the top American brands like Weider and TwinLab, MuscleTech, BSN, Science, to mention a few. I've also worked with data mining within life science. In fact, the software we use here, Simca, the $12,000 product, I was product manager for that software for some years, and I've been using it all the way since I took my classes in applied statistics 20 years ago. I'm also senior advisor at the Multirat Consulting Group, and this is a team of experts that works with complex data and to solve problems mainly for the industry actually. I started training martial arts in 1989. Very much influenced by samurai movies, to be honest. So I started with Aikido, the art of the samurai. But I've been training grappling and kickboxing and MMA, mixed martial arts. I've been competing some as well, even though it's a long time ago now. I've been coaching quite a lot also. My last assignment was actually as the Swedish national team coach in fila grappling. And it ended well. In 2014 we took the gold medal in grappling. Well, so that's short about me. Let's go back to the product again. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's zero risk for you. Black Belt Nutrition, big set of videos, 9.5 hours of material. On top of that, the strength training study, 2.5 hours of educational material. Then you have the reference matrix where you can dig down yourself, and you have the PDF about bodyweight training and calisthenics. If you're not happy, let us know within 30 days and we will refund you.